Hello and welcome to the Evo India YouTube channel, and today with me I have the Triumph Speed T4. This is a more affordable, more accessible variant of the Speed 400. It gets changes to the engine, it gets changes to the chassis setup, all that make it easier to ride and also more affordable to own. What those changes are what I'm going to be telling you in this quick walk around video. Let's start with the design of this motorcycle. Now that, as you can see, is largely unchanged. This has a differentiating factor in terms of the graphics that you see. The graphics on the Speed T4 are a little more youthful, are a little more neo than retro, and as you can see, you have a lot of these garnishes and these decals over here. Apart from that, the majority of the changes are on the chassis and the engine front. Now coming to the chassis changes, you have a new telescopic fork, as you can see up front. This is not the upside down fork setup that you see on the Speed 400. They are, however, the same diameter as before. These are still 43mm forks. You have the same 17-inch wheel at the front and a 17-inch wheel at the rear, but this is running a 110 section bias ply tire and this is running a 140 section bias ply tire, not the 150 section tire. Now coming back to the design element for a bit, here you can see a stainless steel handlebar. This is not the anodized aluminum sort of handlebar that you see on the Speed 400. Now moving behind, the seat is another place that has seen changes for the Speed T4. It is apparently running 10% more cushioning, but at the same time it has also been reprofiled so that extra 10mm of padding that it gets shouldn't hinder with your ability to reach the ground. Now coming to the engine, that's where again majority of the changes are focused. This is still the TR series engine, is running the same displacement, but the power and torque figures are radically different. This is running 36 Newton meters of torque instead of 37.5, and the power figure has dropped from close to 39.5 bhp to 30.6 bhp. Another change on the engine, apart from the tune and the maps and all of that, is the sprocket. So that will aid with the way the throttle response feels. This is running a significantly smaller 39 tooth sprocket over the Speed's 43 tooth sprocket. So that's that on the engine front. The exhaust note has also been tuned to be just a little more bassy. You can go and check out our social handles. We have done a comparison between the two exhaust notes to find out exactly what that is. Now, aside from that, like you can see, a lot of the cycle parts, a lot of the places that you interact with the bike are a little more basic than on the Speed 400. Like the gear lever, for instance, is a little more basic than on the Speed 400. And like I said, you get a smaller 140 section rear tire, bias ply tires, a different engine, a different chassis setup. The wheelbase has increased a little because of the different tires that are being used, but the rake angle has been steepened by 1 degree to compensate for that. How that actually translates is something I can tell you when we ride the motorcycle. And finally, there are the prices. This, like I said, the whole point of this is to make it more accessible in terms of performance, but also more affordable in terms of the price. And to that end, this starts at rupees 2.17 lakh ex-showroom, which is a considerable amount less than the Speed 400, which has also been updated for 2025, which now starts at rupees 2.4 lakh ex-showroom. Now onto the Speed 400, which is new for 2025. Here the changes are minor, but here they are. You have adjustable levers on both the clutch and the brake. You have new tires, Fredestine tires, and they are running a higher profile, so this should improve ride comfort. This is something that remains to be seen. Apart from that, you have new color schemes, and that's about it. Two more points I want to mention about the Speed T4 over the Speed 400 is that misses out on traction control, because Triumph feels like for the kind of performance it's now offering a lower state of tune, traction control isn't necessarily a must, and that would also eat into the cost of the motorcycle. And apart from that, because the engine is running a more relaxed state of tune, that should also prove to be more fuel efficient. Again, something that we will test when we do get our hands on the bike. Now coming back to the Speed 400, this now starts at rupees 2.4 lakh, which is roughly 6,000 rupees more than the ex-showroom price of the previous Speed 400. So that's been it for this video. That's the Speed 400 and that's the Speed T4. What do you think about it? What do you think about the more affordable version of the Speed 400? Does that something that makes sense to you? Let me know in the comment section down below, and as always, thank you for watching.